Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner, and we have with us Coach Mark. Hello, Coach Mark.
Hello, Darcy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. And I had some good feedback on the last video about knees and keeping our knees healthy and some of the myth busting you did around the knees. So thank you so much for that. For those of you that want to see one of our videos about knees, it will be two or three videos back ago. But we're going to do the same thing today around about hips and getting our hips activated and keeping them healthy. And Coach Mark, I'll throw to you in just a moment. And how I'll throw to you is this, especially hips for me, when I'm traveling somewhere for a race, and if that drive is anything over half an hour, it takes me a long time to, I get out of the car, okay, but it takes me a long time to straighten back up once I'm out of the car and certainly getting
Yeah,
my hips ready to go for a run. I almost
yeah,
have to do a bit of a walk and a bit of an arch back and stuff like that. So I know that we need to be
yeah,
conscious of our hips as much as we do around our knees. So, Coach
yeah.
Mark, I'll throw to you right now. Tell us what you think we need to know about our hips, keeping them healthy, and what we can do to activate them and everything we need to know about hips for running. Well, I say everything in a bite-sized chunk. So anyone watching this video for the first time, welcome. But we ask Coach Mark one question per video and only one, and it's a short, sharp video. So you get some nutritionally rich information real fast. So now over to you, Coach Mark. Tell us about hips and what you think we need to know in a couple of minutes about hips.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, just driving for half an hour, how your hips get, tight, your hip flexors get tight. Um, you imagine someone sitting at their desk, for eight
Oh,
hours and doing
yeah,
that five
yeah,
times a week,
yep.
or yeah, and most of us, if you're a lunchtime runner or after work, it's the same lunchtime runner, which I always used to be, sitting at your desk all morning, and then you got to jump up and get everything moving. It's pretty hard.
Especially
You can
lunchtime
see what
runs, you've got to move so fast to get the run
I know
in,
you do.
to get the
Yeah,
shower in, and
yeah,
get your gear off. Lunchtime
yeah,
runs
yeah.
are super intense.
It's right. I mean, that's one of the main sort of issue. Why we get hip problems as runners. It's no other animal sits on a chair for a good reason. We're not supposed to sit on a chair, but we do, and that's just the way of the world. So, but you can work around it, obviously. We're running by so as I said, you sit all day. Hip flexor muscles get really tight, so they get shortened. So automatically, as we said with the knees, you get problems with the knee joint because the muscles supporting the knees are out of balance. There's plainly one muscle that's well out of balance. You can see there. Now, the other side of the hip flexors, the opposite muscle, is your glutes. So they should actually be in sync so that equals tension. So, but when you're sitting, obviously your glutes are in a stretch position.
Right, right.
So your glutes aren't meant to provide as a cushion. So they're supposed to be propel us forward. Yeah, they're big, strong muscles, but they just go to sleep when you sit down and they're in a stretch position. Hip flexor muscles are tight.
Yep.
So straight away you think, okay, how do I redress that? Well, you stretch your hip flexor muscles, you strengthen your glute muscles. Now that's the case. That's the case with probably 90% or more people that I come in contact with who sit at a desk, which is pretty much everyone.
Let me see if I got that right. So you stretch your hip flexor and you strengthen your
Yeah,
glute. Is that what you said?
you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you say you get out of a car and you're tight. So the best thing you could do would be a glute strengthening exercise. So either lying down and doing just some hip raises just to activate them, and then doing a hip flexor stretch. So those two will be together very, very powerful, and they'll see you right
Okay,
when
hold
you
on. Let
run.
me recap on that. So, because when I get
Okay.
out of a car, all I'm focused on is my hip flexor and just trying to get that
Yep.
moving. But you're saying no, there's two things you need to do. One is
Yep.
your hip flexor and stretching
Yep.
that out and getting the flexibility and the movement through that, but also
Yep.
sparking your glutes. And did you say,
Yep.
that glute bridge where you lie on your back and
Yep.
you have your legs bent up and you're just lifting your butt from the ground up where you're
Yep.
straightening your body from your knees to your shoulders, nice and straight like a
You
bridge
got it.
and down. So you're doing both
That's right.
those things.
Yep. In fact, the glute
Brilliant.
bridge, I would say, is more important than the hip flexor
Oh
stretch,
wow.
because
Okay.
you think you've been sitting in a shortened position for half an hour. So say a 30-minute, a 30-second stretch
Yep.
of it is quite an imbalance there, isn't it? You've had half an hour being shortened,
Yep.
30-second stretch. So that by itself will be minimally effective at keeping you in a good position. Whereas if you can actually strengthen your glute muscles, then that will hold you in position and make the stretch more effective. Effectively, the stretch is going to hold.
Okay. Let me
Yeah,
tell.
and you think when you're doing a glute bridge or a hip raise, as you raise up into the bridge, you're stretching your hip flexors as well.
Of course.
Mm.
Okay, give me something. I'm traveling to the track to do the track session tonight, half
Yep.
an hour drive. So when I get there, should this be the first thing I do? I find a patch of grass somewhere and I do some glute bridges, or should I go for maybe a 1K sort of warm up run, then do the glute bridges and then a proper warm up run? Or firstly, should I do these things after my half an hour
Yep.
drive to the track? And at what point should I do them?
I do them as soon as you arrive,
Soon as I
before
arrive.
your warm up run. Yeah,
Okay.
because otherwise your warm up run. So you think when you're running, you're lifting your knees. If
Yep.
you're tight in the hip flexors, weak in the and your glutes gone to sleep, your
Yep.
warm up run's not going to be very effective. And you're only going to further tighten your hip flexors.
Yep. Okay.
Um, so you're better off doing those two as soon as you arrive. Just gently, certainly the stretch, gently into it, but that will help your warm up.
Okay. So glute bridges, give me, I'm a numbers guy. I love numbers. So are we talking 2 by 10 or 3 by 10
Mm-hmm.
or just one set of 10? How many glute bridges should I do?
I do one set of 20.
One times 20. Okay.
Mm.
And
And
then,
hold and yep.
yeah, no, go on.
Oh, and so you're probably going to ask about the stretch. Hold
Yep.
that for 30 seconds each side. Yeah.
Okay. And the stretch, is that good old fashioned where you're grabbing the ankle and you're putting the knee behind you, sort of, or is that more quad? What's the
Yep. So that one also gets the quad muscle when you pull the ankle behind you,
Yep.
and can be a little bit risky if you're doing that because all your weight's on your kneecap.
Yeah, okay.
So it can be all right if you're doing it, and you're kind of used to it, and someone's kind of got you doing it properly. But you can do the similar sort of thing. So you just have your one knee in front of you at 90 degrees, and the other leg behind you. So you're resting on your knee, but your foot's on the ground as well.
Oh, gotcha. I've got it. I've got it.
As,
So
as if as if you're about to be knighted, by
yep.
King Charles or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, you basically, as the Americans call it when they say take a knee, when they've
Take a knee. Do you
taken
take a
it,
knee?
yeah.
Yeah,
And they've
that's a
got
good
that
way to
that
put it.
straddled sort of right. Your legs in front of you, 90 degrees. The other leg is
Yep.
behind you, and your knee and the ball of the foot's touching the ground and just stretching
Yep.
through that way. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Then if you get into that position and then you squeeze your butt and
Yep.
your stomach at the same time, that will have the effect of stretching your hip flexors.
Okay.
Your hips will tilt.
And butt squeeze.
Or
Okay.
I've said to someone the other day, if you imagine you got a tail, you got to
Yep.
tuck the tail between your legs.
Okay.
Does
Gotcha.
that make
And then,
sense? Tail's going
yeah,
to go down.
yeah. So you're sort of rotating. If I'm facing you, I'm rotating my hips this way. So,
You got it.
okay, perfect.
That's it.
And when I'm doing the glute bridge, when I come up, do I just come up or do I come up and just hold intense and then back down?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So with the glute bridge, it's quite important that you do it rather than just raising your hips, where
Yep.
you can actually be using your back. You actually want to use your glutes to do it. So you squeeze
Yes.
your glutes first, which will have the same effect that you did with that stretch. It'll tilt
Yeah.
your thing, and you basically peel yourself up off the ground like a
Okay.
post-it note.
Perfect.
Do
Oh,
you
right.
imagine that, like a post-it note just peeling
Yeah.
up?
Good analogy.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
rather
brilliant.
rather than flinging your back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm going to do that as soon as I'm at the track, and I'll report back for the next video. Oh, Coach Mark, again, you hit these out of the park. Every time we catch up in these videos, you give us some really crucial insights. Why are we not charging heaps of money for these? But 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 I know it's super helpful for people. And if you want Coach Mark to be your coach, his details are in the show notes. So reach out to Coach Mark. If you have a general question, though, put that in the comments and we'll answer a general question. But yeah, if you want Coach Mark to be your coach and and hire Coach Mark that way, his email address is in the show notes. So use that. But general questions, throw them in the comments and we'll answer it that way. Coach Mark, before I sign off, is there anything else you want to share, or have we just pretty much nailed it?
Oh, look, I reckon it's. I mean, we could talk about loads of stuff with the hips, but maybe we could save that to another video.
Okay,
Um,
let's do a
that
hips
other
part
thing,
two.
because there's yeah. I mean, the hips are a big area, and because it's such a mobile joint,
Yeah.
there's plenty that can go wrong with them if you're not careful.
All right.
Yeah, so we won't overwhelm people watching,
No,
and
and
we could
look,
talk about the other stuff later. Yeah.
that's the great thing about these videos. They're short, sharp, bite-sized chunks, and we're focused on delivering good information in a short period of time. So if you want to stay in the loop with other videos, real simple. Hit subscribe, and then as we produce them, you'll know about it. If you want to thank us for this video, for the information we have given you, there's only one thing you need to do. Hit like, job done. We consider that payment. There's nothing else you need to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining us to the end of the video. And final thanks is to you, Coach Mark. Thank you again for catching up with us, with me and the team to share some info. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Coach Mark.
It's a pleasure.